Alrighty, what's up everybody? It is I, your Travel God of Extreme, Peter Joseph here on your Sunday afternoon, Easter Sunday, April the 5th, 2026. Happy Easter to everybody. Thank you all for watching right here on the Peter Joseph YouTube Wrestling channel, youtube.com/Peter Joseph. Make sure you like the video, hit that subscribe button down there in my pants, otherwise known as the description box below, on my respective channels, and leave a comment on this video or any one of my videos from the past, now, and in the future. Coming below these stupid comments, you get sent to the Shadow Realm, beat severely, and the evil Easter Bunny will come out and kick your ass, and then take your eggs and then smash them in your face, and then eat your soul. You do all that in one fell swoop. So, don't leave stupid comments. You're gonna get sent to the Shadow Realm, you're pretty much fucked. After that, you get blocked, hidden. If you don't like that, too bad. So, don't do it. Do it on your dead channel, or go do it on somebody else's channel. Not gonna do it on mine. That's the way it is. That's that. Friend me on social media, follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Friend and follow me there. And share the video all over the internet. Don't forget to tap and slap that bell, turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next one, because you missed the next one, well, you got egg on your face, bitch, and you're pretty much SOL. You better know what that means. Because if you don't, well, that's your problem. And that's that. And if you're brand new here, well, welcome to the party, pal. We hope you enjoy the ride. Sit back, relax. You grab a nice, tasty, cold one. Orange in here. Orange mix. This is a mixed orange drink. But I digress. So, sit back, relax, put your feet up, and enjoy the show. If you like it, great. You know, well, go fuck yourself. And get out of here. And if not, that's your problem. And that's that. We move on. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is Easter Sunday, like I said. I hope you have a great Easter as we celebrate the Lord, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ the Lord, as he is risen from the dead once again on the glorious Easter day. So we celebrate his resurrection, because it is Resurrection Sunday as well. So we celebrate the Lord rising from the dead, and have a nice Easter meal with our family and friends, and just have a great day. That's that. I'm going to be going out in a little bit to have my Easter festivities with the missus and my family, and that's it. I'm not going to care about anything else. So, I'm recording these now, so when these do go up, I will be not here, obviously. So, that's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, enough about the bullshit, because I'm not going to get into any more bullshit. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great Easter Sunday. Be well, be safe. Don't eat too much, because you know you got work tomorrow. Don't drink a lot, especially the vino or whatever you're going to drink. You know, be responsible. Know when to say when. And all that good stuff. But have a great Easter Sunday and a great Easter meal. Whenever you have it, you're having it now, you're having it a little bit later, or tonight. Whenever you're having it, have a great meal. Watch some TV. Mets are on at 4 o'clock. Yankees probably be rained out, because it is kind of cloudy here. It's going to thunder and rain on and off for the next couple hours. Get cold. So the next 3 days going to be cold here in the Northeast, and then back up to 70 degrees this weekend. Next weekend, I should say. That's good. But rain, that's bad. That's that. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, enough about the bullshit. It is time. Right now. Now. Everything I'm saying right now is going to happen now. What happened then? You missed it, dude. But anyway, it is time for your late and out-of-date NXT Stunned, Depose, and Deliver review. Alright, from last night. Great pay-per-view last night. Epic pay-per-view. And NXT always, well, not every pay-per-view, most pay-per-views are freaking epic. But this is NXT's WrestleMania, and they always knock it out of the park with this particular pay-per-view. Always knocks it out of the park. Shawn Michaels, HBK, he knows what he's doing down there. And like I said, this day WrestleMania, they go all out. No pun intended. But it is what it is. But last night was great from top to bottom. It was great. We had titles on the line. 2 titles changed. We'll get to those titles in a little bit. It was just a fun time. And that's that. Alright, so we are emanating from the factory at the district in St. Louis, Missouri. The hometown of Randy Orton and his voice. You know, we saw him on Friday. Oh, we're going to talk about that in my next video. Oh, boy. We're going to talk about that. That horrible SmackDown it was. Another week, another SmackDown that was garbage. Except for one segment, that's it. Everything else, pfft, garbage. But we'll get to that in the next video. Alright, so we're from St. Louis, Missouri, at the factory, at the district, or the factory at the district, little dinky, winky-dink fucking place. What else is new? Anyway, our commentary team, the man with a creepy jacket, lots of candy, you know him, you love him, it's Vic Joseph and a man right next to him, the simp himself, the Kool-Aid man, the man who smokes more fucking weed combined than you do, and that's the two-time Hall of Famer, Black Snow himself, Booker T, sucker! Oh yeah, man, oh yeah! Yicky suck shucky ducky quack quack wah. Ah, okay. We get it. Thank you. Anyway. Sorry. Alright. Vic Joseph and Booker T, as always, on NXT. Biggest show of the year. Amazing show. Let's get into it. Let's not waste any time. Alright, so, for the first time in a few years, we had a kickoff match on the pre-show, which the whole show was on YouTube, and it was great. I was watching it on and off last night, but then when I got home, I watched the entire show, just to get, write a few things down. Not too many, but, I had to watch it again to see, we'll get to that. We'll get to him. We'll get that. So we started off the kickoff show with Birthmark. That's Lexis King, Stacks Mahomes, his hot wife, the TNA Knockouts champion for now, Ariana Grace. We also had Araya Connors and Charlie Dempsey, Mr. Eagle's son. So we got that. They took on Team Shiloh, and that's my boy who follows me on Twitter, Shiloh Hill, Wank and Crank, or Hank and Spank, my girl Maddie Lankowski, and formerly Eli Knight, and now his new name is E.K. Prosper. Stupidest name in the world. But anyway, pretty good match. E.K. Prosper is now actually getting a push. That's good, but, because there's no speed champion now. They announced in the show there's going to be a new speed tournament to crown a new kind of interim speed champion because Pepe Le Pew, Idio de Fleur, he's out for 6 months. Ow. With that arm shoulder injury. He's gone for 6 months. That sucks for him. So, we're going to get a new speed champion soon, I think the tournament starts on Tuesday on NXT, back at the Performance Center. The CWC, you know what I mean. So, I wouldn't put it past that E.K. Prosper becomes the new champ. I wouldn't put it past NXT to do that, but we'll see. We'll see who's even in the tournament. But anyway, so we had a good performance, and then Maddie Lankowski comes in, and her and Charlie Dempsey, I didn't even know they were going to fight. Next thing you know, Maddie's chopping the shit out of him. I'm like, wait a minute, this is a mixed tag team match. You can't fight the women! And even commentators like, what the hell is going on? It was wild, it was crazy, but in the end, Wank and Crank are in the ring with Charlie Dempsey. They dump him. They crush him. And then Shiloh comes in with that pop-up neck breaker. I don't even know what he calls it, but 1, 2, 3, his team gets the win in 6.5 minutes. It was wild, it was crazy, it was like, ugh. It was like discombobulated, but decent start to the kickoff show. And we get that. Then we move on. Alright, then we start the show. Did we start? No, I said start the show properly. And we have the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels. He fucked a goat. He didn't need Eddie. That guy. So he comes out dancing. He's a sexy boy. Sexy boy. You know. Hands off the merchandise. So he comes out, introduces St. Louis's own, not Randy Orton, but another one from St. Louis, and that's the beautiful, well, not so-called beautiful, Sexy Red with her red hair. Comes out twerking her ass. Nothing wrong with that. So they talk and they say, welcome to Stand and Deliver. And then HBK with a little DX throwback. He's like, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. That was nice. Little DX. It's always nice. We get that. And Sexy Red knows a thing or two about sucking. Not dick, but I digress. Alright, so we get an opening video looking at the beautiful city of St. Louis as the gateway to the west with that McDonald's arch. It's big, it's huge. Right in the middle of the fucking city. But I digress. Then it turns into a regular look, and then we get the rundown of the card, we're all ready to go. And we start off with our first match of the night, the women's title on the line. We have the champion, Jacy Jayne. Oh, she was looking amazing. Great entrance, by the way. I loved it. She's coming from the bowels of the building, basically. And then on the side, they're showing, various stuff. That was nice. I like that. She comes out with her teammates in Fatal Influence, Fallon Donko, Dawn Henley, and Lainey Reed. So she defends. She's had the title for so long. Her reign of terror. People are getting pissed. But she defends the belt against the number 1 contenders, Kendall Gray and Lola Faisese. Oh, yes, caliente. She's shaking that ass. And this was actually good. Most of the match, it started blacking out a bit because Jacy Jayne had a wardrobe malfunction. What else is new? We started on SmackDown with Charlotte. Maybe it's not so good to get implants. Fake titties. I'm just saying. Because, they just pop out. I mean, Tiffany Stratton's had wardrobe malfunctions. It is what it is. Daddy! What? Can you get me some good gear so my tits don't pop out? I'm on it. I'm on it. Oh, thank you, Daddy. Those women need, a better... I'm not saying anything bad about the seamstress, because she's legendary, I heard. But, hold them together, please! Or at least WWE show the fucking shit. I mean, the people there are live, the kiddies are like, what the hell? And the guy's like, oh my god, we see a nipple! Nip slip! Yay! Anyway, so that threw me off a little bit. But still, the match was still great. They're beating each other up. Not gonna get everything, but they're on the outside. Jacy threw Kendall into the ring steps. Ow! And then Lola beat her up. I think they went through the announce table. But anyway, they go back in, and what looked like a Tower of Doom spot. Well, that didn't quite work because Lola got up and started striking away at Kendall. Then she flips her hair back, and I was like, hey, no sexy, my hips don't lie, like Shakira. Sexy hip attack. Booker T's going completely berserk. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, calm down, you simp. Anyway, here's the sexy hip attacks in the corner. Going crazy. Kendall comes back with a wicked German suplex to Lola. She takes down the straps. I'm like, oh, great. We're going to get another freaking wardrobe malfunction. But anyway, she took down the straps like she's Kurt Angle. And snaps off more German suplexes. And then Jacy Jayne comes in, knees her down for a near fall. Lola drops JC for a near fall, gets sent to the outside, which leaves Kendall to put on the ankle lock, and then the screen goes black like 5 times. It's like over and over and over again. Because, nip slip, whoop, whoop, boobies coming out. Can't do anything about that. It's live TV. Was pay-per-view. Come on, we gotta see that. Come on. Anyway, that was kind of annoying. We didn't know. It's black! Did she tap? I don't know! We go back in. They strike away. Kendall puts JC down. Only to have Lola put the foot on the rope on the pin. So that breaks up that. And then, Fallon Henley and Laney Reed over the distraction. And then Maddie chases them off to the back. Which leads Lola to, choke Kendall Gray. That rear naked choke. Kendall flips over almost like a WrestleMania 8 type pin with Bret Hart and Roddy Piper. That didn't work because that got broken up with I think a 2 count. That gets broken up. And then JC hits that rolling elbow, or the what's it called? Rolling encore, I think it's called. Hits that on Kendall Gray, knocked her the fuck out. She goes to the outside, and then Lola comes off the ropes, spins, boom, back fist on JC, knocked her out, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a new NXT Women's Champion. Finally, we have a new champion. The reign of terror is over. No more Jason Mahal. Kind of sucks, but finally, Lola Vice is the new NXT Women's Champion. First ever, Venezuelan champion. I believe she's Venezuelan. I think she said she was Venezuelan. Or Venezuelan Cuban. NXT Women's Champion. So I'm finally happy for her. She deserves it. Way long overdue. And she's the champ. Match, make a wish, 16 minutes and 16 seconds. And JC's definitely going to the main roster. Even she put it on Twitter, she said, well deserved, I'm proud and stuff like that. Even her, her co-workers, basically most of the women's division, thanked her for being champ and everything, stuff like that. So, I think JC's going to the main roster. I don't know when. I think maybe Tuesday might be her last appearance, unless she has that. She has that obligated rematch. So, we'll see. But I think after WrestleMania, I think we'll see her on Raw or SmackDown. And it doesn't really matter where you put her. She's going to dominate that division, too. But I'd love for her and Mommy, Rhea Ripley, go at it. Her and Charlotte to go at it. It'd be nice. Her and Io and Asuka and Kenny! That would be epic. I think JC Jane is going to be a star on the main roster. Like she was a star in NXT. I hope Hunter does not fuck this up. When all these people from NXT start going up. Like Lola, like Kendall Gray eventually, like JC. Maybe my cousin Tony D'Angelo, Ricky Starks, Ethan Page. Maybe Miles, don't call him Ozzy Osbourne. They're going to go up, and I have a bad feeling, and every time I have a bad feeling, it's not good. And when people come up from NXT, they start with a good push, and then eventually, down the drain they go. Remember we saw that when Aleister Black, Gargano, and Ciampa came up? What happened? They went back down. Their push was gone. Even Ricochet when he came up, I was like, ugh. So, as much as Oba's there now, and he's getting, he had a big match against Brock. He loses that match. Let's say he does lose. It doesn't hurt him. It sucks, but, Brock's not going to I'm not going to put him over. So, who wins? Does nobody win? I guess we're going to have to see what happens. It might be a last-minute call who wins that match. I'm still going with Oba, but I don't know. It seems like Oba's just dominating Brock right now. We'll see what happens tomorrow in Houston on Raw, and then next week in Sacramento, the week after that, the go-home show. and then maybe at the kickoff show on the 17th, and then whatever night it goes on, whether night 1 or night 2, I mean, we'll see. But I think after that match, I think Oba would still be strong, but I have a feeling his aura is going to go down. Not quickly, but eventually, you know. I mean, we'll see. As much as I think Oba might win the world title, and his aura would be great, but then eventually when he loses that title, bye-bye. But, I mean, Oba and maybe Roman at SummerSlam, like Oba would say, take my money. Take my money. Yeah, take our money. I mean, we'll see. But, yeah, with JC, I hope, you know, they put her on Raw and SmackDown, and she just obliterates everybody. And then wins the Raw SmackDown women's title. Or maybe give her the Intercontinental title. Maybe give her the U.S. title. I think she'll have a long reign with that, too. I just think she's going to be a big star on the main roster. And then, we'll see. But, you know, I just can't. With the people that come up to the main roster, or they come over from another company, their aura is so good, you know, they get a good push, and then eventually, down the drain. Because they run into Hunter's booking, they run into WWE creative, which is not really creative, but being creative, absolutely. And then, down the drain. They're in mid-card hell, or in catering, pretty much about a year. It sucks. It just sucks. So I'm worried for Oba, I'm worried for JC, Lola, you know. I'm just worried for the stars of NXT. They're going to go on with the main roster. Even my cousin, Tony D. Even Shiloh, eventually, if he goes onto the main roster. And that's not going to be now, but whatever. I'm not going to go any further. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So I gave the match 3.5 out of 5 stars. Congrats to Lola. And we'll see what happens on Tuesday. And eventually, I think, JC's going to come out, ask for her rematch. Lola's going to grant it. I think Lola beats her either on a random NXT or maybe at the next show. Whatever that is. That's that. We move on. Alright, then we get a nice video for Kaylee Armstrong, the former Evolve Women's Champion before Kendall Gray beat her. She's going to be coming to NXT, so she's going to she's coming to the NXT roster to join the women's division, and I think that's great. Great video. And we'll see what happens with that. Alright, match number 2 for the NXT Tag Team titles. We had the Vanity Project of the Benjamin Buttons guys. We had Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes, along with Jackson Trick. They take on Los Americanos. That's Rayo and Bravo, Pete fucking Dunne, and Tyler Bate with the fake El Grande Americano. And that's Ludwig Spears, Ludwig Kaiser, Marcel Barthel, whatever you want to call him. This was actually pretty good. I really wanted Los Americanos to get the win, but nope. Anyway, we get near the end of the match. Swipe right, basically, the Vanity Project. So swipe right hits super swipe and assisted swinging back bottom. That got a near fall on Rio. And then it's time to go after the mask. Rio snaps off an X-Plex for a near fall. And then El Grande Americano lets Bravo load up his mask. But the Vanity Project cut him off with an assisted DDT for a very near fall. And then Ricky Smokes unloads Bravo's mask. So show that little metal thing. Knees Rayo on the outside to the outside. That didn't last long because we get a super Hurricane Rana into an Eddie Guerrero frog splash. Did you like that one, Eddie? Eddie? What? I say what? Did you like that frog splash that the Benjamin Buttons guys hit? I didn't see it and I didn't care. Okay. Now leave me alone. I'm having some time with China. Okay. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Big ups to Eddie Guerrero. Alright, so we get a frog splash from very near fall. Everything breaks down again. We get a little bop and bang, a little, road dog. You didn't know? You better call somebody. So that puts Smokes down. And then they hit the bigger end, not the bitter end. The bigger end hits Brad Baylor. And then El Grande Americano cuts off Jackson Craig, who tried to interfere, tried to break up the pin. But Brad Baylor hits a flippy dibbity-doo on him. And then Jackson Craig gets in a cheap shot to Bravo. Then a top rope double stomp reverse DDT combo. That's inventive. That got the win. So, and still, your NXT Tag Team Champions, Swipe Right, Vanity Project, whatever you want to call them, they get the win in just under 13 and a half minutes. Match was decent, 3.25 out of 5 stars. And that's that. I was hoping for a title change. No. Didn't get that. Alright, then we're going to look back at what happened on the kickoff show where Team Shiloh beat Birthmark. We get that. Alright, there we see my boy Shiloh Hill runs up to, I guess, his girl, because, you see them now. They seem to look like they're together. And that's the NXT Women's North American Champion, Tatum Paxley, runs over to her. They hug. Blah, blah, blah. They're happy over their recent success. And then Sexy Red comes in. Tatum Paxley's like, oh, look, Sexy Red, yay! Okay. She's all excited. And then Absolute Vicky Starks to the pose. He comes in, is not impressed. Not impressive, Skywalker. Not impressed. No. Strike me down and your ascent to the dark side will be complete. Pretty much. Alright, we get that. Alright, match number 3. The showdown of all showdowns. Delta and Sol Ruca. And man, this was amazing. Great. They started off beating the crap out of each other. Delta comes out, and then Sol Ruca's music plays, and they start fighting right before the bell rang. And they're fighting. Sol Ruca goes for the Soul Snatcher, and Delta was right there with a super kick. They go to the ramp, and they're fighting on the ramp. Next thing you know, Soul Snatcher on the ramp. Ow! Holy shit! That woke me up. Holy crap! Anyway, they get back in the ring. Sol Ruca gets a choke slam. Like I said, Soul Snatcher on the steel ramp. Ow! And then Delta gets up. Sol Ruca hits another Soul Snatcher on the inside of the ring. I don't know how Delta kicked out of that. One Soul Snatcher on the ramp, and then another one in the middle of the ring, and basically around the middle of the ring. She kicks out of that. She's not human. And then another springboard earns Sol Ruca a spear. Delta picks her up. Boom, F5. I thought it was over. Nope, Sol Ruca kicked out of that too. And then we get a little potential kind of reunion, like, okay, I'm sorry, let's be friends again. Nope, Delta headbutts her like 6,000 times. Fireman's carry is taken to the middle rope, so it hits a super X Factor. That's nice. And then, right after that, another Soul Snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Damn. Sol Ruca gets the win. I'm worried about her going up too. What's going to happen to her on the main roster? We'll see what happens with that. But 13-minute match. Pretty damn good. 3.5 out of 5 stars. But, Delta, not happy. If you follow her on Twitter, she was not happy. I think we got more of this maybe on Tuesday night. We'll see what happens with that. Alright, we go to back. Lola Vice is all happy with becoming the new NXT Women's Champion. So happy. Gonna be a big celebration this Tuesday night on the program. And then Sexy Red comes in. He says, hi, chica, and then he starts twerking. Oh! Booker T's like, oh yeah, man! Oh, shucky ducky! Quack, quack! Shaky, shaky, shaky. Shake that healthy butt. Baby got back, Stuff like that. Alright, so we got that. So yeah, I didn't do great in my predictions. Counting the pre-show, I went 2-5. That's not great. But it's hard. Sometimes, it's not, can't be 100% all the time. So 2-5 is, below 500. So whatever you're gonna do. All right. Match number 4 for the men's North American title. We had Miles, so call him Ozzy Osbourne, taking on Johnny Gargano. Johnny Wrestling back in NXT, looking to become a first ever 4-time NXT North American champion. His beautiful wife, Candice LeRae, is at ringside. This was another great match. And, I always root for Johnny so hard in this match. But, you get that. Alright. Get in the middle of the match. Right hands in the corner by Miles. That goes reverse into Kiki Nando's. And a sunset flip bomb for a near fall for Johnny. Then he hits a suicide dive. Miles gives him a super power slam. Interesting. For a near fall. On the inside. Drop kick and a German suplex. Rock Johnny, who charges into a Death Valley driver on the knee. Ow. I was thinking collateral damage, but that's like a suplex on the knee. By Adam Cole. Baby. That sends Gargano out to the ramp. Miles catches him with a diving clothesline. But Gargano came right back with the Willow's Bell DDT. And then one final beat. Hits that. And then he tries to lock in a Gargano escape. And Miles got out of that. Hits Born Again for a near fall. I thought that was over right there, but Johnny kicked out that too. 1925 Boston Crab attempt gets countered to a foot roller for a near fall. Candice LeRae gives in a cheap shot behind the referee's back. Johnny locks in the Gargano escape. Has Miles' bad arm in big trouble, but somehow he got to the ropes for a rope break. And Johnny's like, what do I gotta do to beat this guy? He tries for one final beat again. It gets blocked. And then a slingshot Born Again into another Born Again. Wow. 1, 2, 3. Miles, they'll call him Ozzy Osbourne. Somehow, someway retained the North American title in a smidge over 14.5 minutes. Great match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And then afterwards, they show some respect. Code of honor. Sportsmanship. Yay! You love to see it. And then, to ruin the party, that Dark State, well, not so much all of Dark State, but the leader, Dion Lennox, comes in, bam, with a chair, and knocks Miles the fuck out with it. So it looks like Dion and Miles are going to go at it for the North American title. Ugh. I'm getting sick of Dark State. I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. Where the fuck is Cutler James? Oh yeah, that's right. He got his ass handed to him by my cousin. Sucks to be you! So basically, Dark State's a trio now. Not unless they get somebody new. I don't care who. That rhymes. But I digress. We move on. That's that. Let me take a sippy sip. So my voice is going. Nature Brand Orange Water Mix thing. The proud sponsor of life. That's that. Alright, after that, Sol Ruka is in the back, says that was the hardest match of my career. And now I'm coming after the gold, maybe the NXT North American title, maybe the world title. So she's coming after some gold. And then Bookie Hogan 2.0, Izzy Dane comes in and says, no, no, no. So it looks like we're going to get Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dane. Whether it be a contenders match or just a straight up match. We'll see what happens with that. Let me move on. That's that. Speaking of the women's North American title, match number 5 for the women's North American title, we have the champ Tatum Paxley taking on the lovely Blake Monroe. Oh my. Oh. She was looking great. And I really wanted her to get that belt back, but damn it! She didn't get it. So they were beating each other up in the beginning of the match. And then Blake goes to the shoulder, which she was targeting during the match. Makes sure to shove Tatum around a little bit. Knocks in the crossface, has Tatum in big trouble, but is able to get up from a jumping enziguri. Or she hits a jumping enziguri, and then hits a German suplex into another enziguri, followed by a flipping famouser, really the scorpion kick, almost. That gets a near fall. Then a super kick, drops Blake. Paxley can't follow up with that, and they start kicking away at each other from the mat. And then Tatum gets the better of that, puts Blake on the top rope for a superplex, rolled into a suplex, and almost like a paradox, cataclysm, whatever you want to call it, that Seth Rollins usually does. But Blake gets right back up, and then another suplex cuts Blake off. She heads to the apron where she grabs a sunset flip bomb, ow, on Tatum Paxley. But and then Tatum's trying to come back. That gets cut off. Blake gets in a belt shot behind the referee's back somehow. I thought she was about to win the belt, but nope. Tatum kicked out at 2. And then Tatum is sent into the exposed turnbuckle, which I didn't see how that happened, but you get that. And then the double arm DDT gives Blake a near fall that, it kind of reminds me of, Mick Foley's double arm DDT that, he loves to hit. Right, Mick? Mick? Bang! Yes. Okay. I love to hit it. That's my finishing move. Would you like a Dorito? No. I don't want a Dorito. It's Easter. We don't eat Doritos. Maybe later, but not now. But they're very tasty. I know, Mick. I know. Can you go have Easter dinner? Go have a meal. Just get out of here. Okay, good. Have a nice day. Cactus, why are you being such an asshole? Oh no, Terry. No more drama today, please. Come on. It's Easter. I don't care if it's Easter. I don't care. I don't like you, Cactus. I don't like you, Terry. Oh, God, stop. It's Easter, goddammit. I just want you to know I was a hardcore legend in Japan. Japan. #1. You done? Fire! Okay. I'm sorry. Easter, these, people gotta start drama. I mean, come on now. It's Easter. Fucking holidays shouldn't have fucking drama. So if you do drama streams on Easter or any holiday, you're a dick. Tiny dick, by the way. Because you have tiny dicks. Moving on. She hits that for a near fall. I don't know how Tatum kicked out of that. Blake is like, what? So Tatum goes right back with cemetery, after the scorpion kick again. Hits cemetery drive, 1, 2, 3. Fuck. So Tatum Paxley retains the Women's North American Championship in under 13.5 minutes. Mac was still decent, 3 out of 5 stars, and Blake was not happy. If you follow her on Twitter, she had a cryptic tweet. Oh, this is far from over with Tatum. Far from over. So we'll see what happens on Tuesday night with that. And then we move on. Alright, then Saquon Sugars, well, he's not happy with Dion getting another title shot. He's like, hey, what about me? What about Raven? Kind of one of those things. But, things start calming down. Dion says, I got a plan for you and you, Mr. Osiris Griffin. So maybe Saquon Sugars and Osiris go back for the tag team titles. I don't know. And then Dion's gonna go maybe win the North American title. But what happens to Cutler James when he comes back? If he comes back. I'm the leader. No, I'm the leader. I'm the tag team champion. No, I'm the tag team champion. Get it together. That's that. Alright. Then we get a video for the triple threat match that's going to happen this Tuesday night on the program. Big, beefy men are going to slap meat in that ring. Josh Briggs, Gianna Carver, and the Pasta. Jasper Troy, they're going to beat the fuck out of each other on Tuesday night. We'll see what happens with that. Then we get more of what's coming on Tuesday night. So we get that. Then we move on. Alright, then we're in the back. Tatum Paxley runs back, is in the back. Celebrates with Maddie Winkowski, all her friends, even Shiloh. They're all celebrating, yay, I beat Tay, look at me! And then the Vanity Project come in. They're like, I don't get all this. We don't get this. Why are you friends? You know, this and that. And then Blake Monroe comes in and wants to talk to them. Right. Talk. That's a four-way you would love to see, you know? Shit. 20-year-old, you know, these 20-year-old kids getting, you know, banging Blake Monroe. I mean, how cool is that? I'd like to have that job. Shit. But, you know, I'm just a 49-year-old schmuck living in Brooklyn, you know? What are you gonna do? Alright, so there's rumors that Blake was gonna join the Vanity Project. I mean, it makes sense because Blake is all glamorous, you know, the glamour stuff like that, and you know, the Vanity Project are all about themselves and looking good and trying to get chicks. Why not? So it kind of makes sense. So if they want to, you know, add to the faction, or Blake just joins them, I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that. Okay. We move on. Alright, then we get to the main event of Stand and Deliver for the NXT World title for the men. That guy named Below Average Joe Hendry takes on Absolute Ricky Starks. Oh, Ego, Ethan Page. And my cousin, Tony D'Angelo, he's cooking me a good, well, later, not now, because I'm going to have some Easter dinner with my parents, but maybe later. Do you have any? Hey, Cuz! Get in here. Hey, Cuz. My cousin, ladies and gentlemen. That's my legit cousin, Tony D'Angelo. Cuz, you got any leftovers from the other night, from your, yeah, good? You got some? Save me some? Save for the missus too, right? Good. Alright. Tony D'Angelo, he got me some leftovers from his celebration. You know, I only have to pay $2. See, if you don't know him, you don't get shit. So anyway, we get to that fatal 4 for the title. Big old intros to start. And they just start beating each other up. They go to the floor. They go to the floor. Tony's on the floor. Ricky and Ethan start double teaming. They were double teaming, and then they're like, no, what are you doing? I'm trying to win. They had a power Ricky tries they try for a power and glory powerplex to Joe Hendry, but Ethan's top rope splash hits Ricky Starks, and he's like, Sonny! And then Tony comes back with a spear, gets knocked down. All 4 men are down for a breather. Tony then hits the forget about it. Spine Buster puts Joe Hendry down. Ethan and Ricky back up, plants Tony on the floor. Ow. And then Joe Hendry hits a big kind of mediocre flippy dippity do onto them. And then goes for the standing ovation. That gets broken up on the inside of the ring. But Joe Hendry cleans house anyway with a fallaway slam. Kips up, does that stupid fucking pose. And then Tony D is back in with some suplexes of his own. He spears Joe Hendry not once, but twice. And then Ricky Starks grabs a chair, and he takes over. Ow. And then Ethan doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. He's like, that's it. No more Reliance. Starts breaking down. Ethan puts Ricky through the cover of the announcer's table. Ow. And then Tony D gets back in. Well, actually, Joe Hendry throws him back in. And then Tony spears... no, take that back. Tony spears both of them off the ring steps through the table. And then Candy's flying everywhere. Big Joe's like, fuck! All my Skittles and my Starbursts are going all over the floor! I can't eat them now! Fuck. Well, you do have a 5-second rule, you know. So... just saying. But anyway, table's gone. Candy's all over the place. And then Joe throws my cousin Tony D back in. And Tony hits the spear. Actually, Joe Hendry tried for the standing ovation. And Tony D countered it into a spear. Then he hits the forget about it. It's the Spine Buster. Goes to the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a new NXT World Heavyweight Champion. My cousin, he did it. Yeah! My cousin is the new NXT World Heavyweight Champion. Phase 2 is done. So Tony D, he's back. The original NXT Don, he is back. Loved it. 16-minute match. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Tony D is the champ. And I hope his reign is long and prosperous. But we'll see, because Joe Hendry does have his obligated rematch. And, yeah. I don't even give 2 fucks if Joe Hendry goes to the main roster. I don't give a fuck, because I hope he gets put in the mid-card. That's all he is, mid-card for life. Knowing, you know, WWE, to put him on SmackDown, to do something with him, and maybe R-Truth, and hopefully not, Mr. Danhausen, who should curse him. As long as he doesn't curse Roman, I'm happy. Everybody else, I don't care. I don't care about anybody else, except for Asuka, Io, and Kairi. And Roman, of course. Everybody else, you can pretty much curse. That's that. And my cousin. Don't curse my cousin. Don't curse Shinsuke Nakamura. And Lola Vice and any of my favorites, don't curse. Please. Everybody else I don't like, fuck them. That's that. Alright, Tony D celebrates with the fans after the show. Oh, well, not after the show. Well, after the match. And then ends the show. So, Tony D is the new men's champion. Lola Vice is the new women's champion. I assume we're going to get a Tony D celebration on NXT this week. We'll see. And if Joe Hendry comes out, it's like, I want my rematch. But I think Ricky Starks and Ethan are going to have a big feud. Where that goes, I don't know. But we'll see what happens. So Tuesday is going to be very, very interesting on the program. And we'll see what happens with that. New champs. You know. And we'll see what happens with former champions like JC Jane. And Joe Hendry. Well, there you go. Maybe to the main roster. But we'll see. Alright, all in all, NXT Stand and Deliver was great. I loved it. And I gave it a solid 8 out of 10 stars. Let me know what you guys thought of the show down below in the comment section. Electric Witty would say, let's talk about it. And that's that. Alright, I'm going to go record my SmackDown review. And then, pretty much, I'm out of here. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time. My cousin says, forget about it. Arrivederci. Peace.